Sammy, you are wrecking the car. Shut up.
What we are going to do right now, I think we're gonna install the interior, like the rear seat, the front seats. Bam. Let me bring the spanner set like closer to the car. So yeah, let's take it out. And we should drop it right here. Yes, spanner 9. We good. So guys, before we start tightening all the bolts, yeah, let me get the front seat. Let me get the passenger seat. I think I need to double crouch like this so I can take it. So guys, we got only 2 bolts for the rear. We got one right here. And one right here. So with a 9mm spanner, we can tighten like 4 bolts for the passenger seat and the driver's seat. Oh, one should be located around. Oh, yeah, I see it. Now the seats are good and we need to get the dashboard, like assemble it together, and we're gonna install it inside of the car. So as you can see, we got the dashboard right here, like under the table. Bam. Perfect. So for the dashboard, we need like 10mm spanner for just 2 bolts. And one located at the glove box. Yep. Right now we need to take the dashboard meters, and as you can see, like it's missing the RPM gauge, but the problem is we got only clock gauge in the garage. I do remember before we had like 2 things, like RPM gauge and the clock one. We have to rotate this thing real quick because we got 2 bolts for the clock gauge, and the 2 bolts needs like 7mm spanner. Let's take this thing and install it in the car. Okay. Come on, we got it, I think. Yep, bam. We need to change like the spanner real quick. We need the 6mm. Yep, we got only 2 bolts, one right here. And today guys, we're gonna finish like installing the front and the rear suspension together. I think we're gonna start with the rear one because it's easier. So first of all, we're gonna take the trail arms, like both. For the rear right and rear left should be located right here. Should be like easy. And this trail arm for the rear right, pretty simple. We got only 2 bolts to tighten, and we need, I think, 12mm spanner. And now let's take the coil springs right there. Let me bring the other one, and one right here. Let's raise it. Let's bring the shock absorbers. We're gonna drop this one right here. So we got, I think, only 3 bolts, 2 at the bottom and 1 at the top. Bam. So I need to tighten the one at the top, not at the bottom. And now guys, we're gonna bring the drum brakes. Here they are. And bam. Okay, here's the another one. Bam. So we need the spanner 14mm, this one, and we need to tighten 1 bolt. And now we can say we're done with the rear, and let's start with the front side. So first thing, we're gonna take the subframe, and it has like 4 bolts to tighten with the 10mm spanner. I think we found it, guys. Bam. The other 2 bolts, man, is so sketchy because I think it's under the car a little bit. And now guys, we should bring the steering rack, and it's located right here. Bam. We need the spanner 9mm so we can tighten like the 4 bolts. Now we're gonna take the steering column, and bam. So we got 2 bolts to tighten with the spanner 8mm. And now let's bring the wishbones, like front left and front right. This one for the front left, and we need 10mm spanner to tighten the 2 bolts. And this one for the front right, same as the other one. Bam. We got the front left and front right, and I think we got only 1 bolt to tighten with the 12mm spanner. Okay, front right. I'm gonna change the spanner to 12. I think the bolt, yep, it's located right there. And now let's bring the 2 steering rods. We got like the front right and front left. Bam and bam. Man, I can't even see the bolts, and I think the best thing to do is going to sleep right now. Oh shit, it's so dark inside. And one right here. We just only have 1 bolt to tighten with the 14, I think, millimeter spanner. So before we tighten the disc brakes, we need to install the half shaft. Bam. Now we need to bring the spanner 14 for the disc brakes. Let's tighten this bolt. And let me bring the other half shaft. And for the last front side parts, the struts. Yes, and bam. Yeah, definitely I will check the bolt for the seam rod. And now we're gonna tighten like 3 bolts on the top with a 10mm spanner. I'm gonna double check, you know, this bolt right here. I'm gonna unbolt it and tighten it again. And double check this one too. Let's get the block on the table. Let's drop it like this. Let's get the crankshaft. Okay, we got it. We need the main bearing. So here's the first one. So the second one, third one should be right here. Bam. We need the 9mm spanner. And the second one. Now we need to bring the pistons, so let me rotate this thing right here. The first one, bam, 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 bam. And now we need to flip this over, so we got like 2 bolts on each piston. So let me rotate it again, click. And another click, and now we should bring the cylinder head, so, and bam, and we got like 10 bolts to tighten with a 7mm spanner. And now we need the rocker shaft. We need to put it right here. Bam. We need 8mm spanner for the 5 bolts. Let me bring the camshaft, and it needs 2 bolts to tighten with the 5mm spanner. So should be located right here. Bam. And now let's bring the camshaft gear. So should be located right here. Bam. We need 10mm spanner to tighten just 1 bolt, and it's located right here. As you can see, there is like an arrow or a line. It should be like lined up with this one right here. We're gonna scroll up until we line it like perfectly. Okay, now it's good, and let me bring the timing chain. Let's bring the water pump, and I think it needs about 5 bolts to tighten with the 7mm. Let me get the crankshaft pulley, so let's put it right here. Bam. And we need 11mm spanner to tighten just 1 bolt. Let's get the water pump pulley, and it needs like 4 bolts to tighten with 7mm. Let me get the distributor. I got it. For this one we need like just 1 screw to tighten, and it's right here. Maybe later we're gonna adjust it together. Okay, the alternator. Bam. There is like 2 bolts, one with the 7mm and one with the 10mm. Let's change to 10mm. And the 10mm bolt at the back. So as you can see, it's floating. Let me rotate the engine. Bam. So we got like 8 bolts to tighten with the 7mm and just 1 bolt with the 13mm spanner. Let me rotate the engine. Let's take now the engine plate. Bam. Right here. 7mm. And 1 bolt hidden behind the starter, so you need to be careful, guys. Now let's bring the carburetor. Bam. And we need 8mm spanner to tighten the 4 bolts. We are done with the carburetor. Let's bring the headers. And bam. The headers needs like 5 bolts to tighten with the 8mm. Let's take the flywheel, and we need like 6 bolts to tighten with the 7mm. Bam. The plate should be first, and after that pressure plate like that. And the clutch disc. Bam. Bam. And for the clutch assembly we need the 6mm spanner to tighten the 6 bolts. the thing is glitching through the table right now. Wait a second. I don't know guys if this is possible or not, but we put it next to the wall so we can take it in the motor hoist. I hope it works, man. I hope it works. Okay, that's the first one. And the second one. We did it, boys. Hell yeah. Let's bring it right here. I think now let's bring the gearbox and like that. Bam. So I already have the 10 millimeters and we got one bolt to tighten right here. We got a more bolts to tighten. 7 millimeters. Before we tighten the 4 bolts left, we need to get the inspection cover. And it's just sitting right here because we're gonna need it to pass the inspection. Bam. Let's take the drive gear and it needs, I think, 7 bolts to tighten with a 6 millimeters. Bam. Now let's put like the rocker cover and it needs like 6 bolts to tighten with a 7 millimeters. Bam. Let's bring the fuel pump and it needs like 2 bolts to tighten with the 7 millimeters. Yeah, right here. Let me bring the oil filter in the kitchen. We left it right there. Oh yeah, she's here. Bam. And we need to scroll up to tighten the thing. So right now, boys, we're gonna install the wheels like that maybe. Should be good. We got like 4 bolts for each tire and we need, I think, spanner 13. Maybe guys, after we take the shower, no more mosquito bothering us, man. It's so annoying. Let me bring the fuel stainer, the first one. For the fuel stainer, we need like 1 bolt to tighten with the 8mm spanner. Okay, the clutch master cylinder right now. Yep, we got it. Let's bring the brake master cylinder. Bam. First thing, we're gonna put the clutch lining and it needs like 2 bolts to tighten with the 7mm. And now let's break the brake lining and it has like 11 bolts to tighten with 7mm. Yeah, this is kind of a little bit sketchy and we need to be careful. So we need to tighten 4 bolts with the 7mm spanner. So we got the same one. Bam. I think now it's time, guys, to push the car inside of the garage and put the engine. Okay, that's perfect. We gotta put this thing inside, so should be like that. Oh, the bad thing, we don't have like a handbrake. She's going backwards. Maybe let's pull it up like this. Yeah. Okay, let's try to drop it a little bit. So we still didn't have the bolts at the moment and we need to drop it more. Let's see if we got the bolts in or not. Oh yeah, we got the bolt for the rear one. One thing left, we're gonna push it a little bit forward like this. Let me bring the 11mm spanner. So let's see if we can tighten it in the subframe. I hope it works. Oh, I see it, I see it. Bam! We did it, boys. We should put it right here because we don't need it anymore. So right now I think we only left electrics and a couple of stuff. Let me bring the spark plugs real quick. So yep, here they are. Put these inside. And make sure to tighten the spark plugs with a spark plug wrench. Let me bring the belt. It's in the kitchen. Yep, she's here. Bam. We need a screwdriver for this mission. We need to pull it max to the right and just like scroll 2 times forward. And that's it. 1, 2. Perfect. After that, just tighten 1 screw. Yeah, she's right here. Okay, let's drop it in this box. Let's put the radiator hose number 3. We got it. And we got the radiator hose number 2, which should be located in the same spot next to the other one. Oh yeah. And the radiator hose number 1. Yeah, like that. And for the hoses we need like 5 screws to tighten, that's it. Okay, let's put now the exhaust pipe and the exhaust muffler at the bottom. We got it, boys. And we need 7mm spanner to tighten 3 bolts. Let's bring the exhaust muffler, and she's sitting right here.
Bruh.
Oh, again. Wow. We gotta install like the gear linkage, and it needs 3 bolts to tighten with the 5mm. We need 11mm spanner to tighten like 7 bolts for the fuel tank. We gotta change like to 12mm bolt to tighten just 1 bolt in the fuel tank. And now, boys, let's install the fuel tank pipe. Let's install the gear stick inside, and it needs 3 bolts to tighten with the 6mm. We did change the spanner to 5mm to tighten just 1 bolt at the bottom, and we need I think 4 bolts to tighten inside in the cockpit, about 80mm spanner I think. Let's install the stock steering wheel, and it needs 1 bolt to tighten with the 10mm. And the most important thing now, the wiring mess. We should start with the rear because it's a lot easier. A rear harness connector, press F to do it, and it should be one right here, yeah, the fuel tank. Oh yeah, we need to install like the rear lights. Wait a second. A rear light left, bam, and bam. Okay, let me take this thing. So from the main harness connector, I think we should take it the front light connector. It should be like right here somewhere. Yep. From this one, front lights connector to the headlight right. And from the front lights connector to the left one. Yep. And now let's go with the main harness connector to the ignition coil. From main harness connector to the radiator fan connector, should be located somewhere near here. We found it. And again from main harness connector to the positive terminal, this one. And from the positive terminal we go to the starter. And again from the main harness connector, I think we should go to the regulator, like that. From the regulator we go to the alternator. And about the negative terminal, we take it to the battery ground connector. Should be here somewhere, I don't know where, but... So we had like to take 1 bolt from the starter and we can put it right here. It's called like the battery ground connector. From this side we did pretty good, so let's get inside and let's see, boys. So from the fuse box we take it to the instrument panel 1. Yep. From fuse box again to the instrument panel. From the fuse box again to the ignition switch. And from the radio we take it to the radio harness. And the light switch to the dash harness connector. I think, guys, we did connect everything with the wiring mesh. Only left to do, I think, some tuning. And now let's remove all the caps right here. The engine now is good. Let me drop this thing right here. Let me bring the coolant. We got 10 liters right here. Now let's bring the brake and the clutch fluid. So one right here. I almost forgot to tighten like the bolts for the brake and clutch. We need the spanner 9mm. I think the only thing that I didn't do right now, dropping the fuel for the car. Guys, let's look again. Did we miss something? Wait, we did miss something. Wait, 5mm? Yes, I told you. I told you, even like there's 1 bolt for the starter right here, and it needs like 7mm. Before we start the car or do anything else, I need to save really quick. And to tighten the battery you need 8mm spanner, and we need to start from this side first. Okay, boys, wish me luck. So let's enter the car, enter driving mode. Okay, the wheel works, perfect. Okay, put the ignition. Oh, the light works. And as you can see, the dashboard works too. That's amazing. First of all, pull the choke and let's start it. Okay, some gas. Come on. Oh, why it's doing like that? This is kind of sketchy. The second start, here we go. Oi! Hey, yo, we made it, boys. We made it. Let's go. Why the hell she went off right now? That's kind of weird, to be honest. It runs. We got the achievement unlocked. Let's go, boys. Today, guys, we're gonna tune the car until we get like a call from Timo, because we are waiting for the AFR gauge to arrive. So we got some stuff to tune, like the rocker shaft. First of all, we need to remove the rocker cover with a 7mm spanner, and we got like 6 bolts to remove. We can have like the access to the rocker shaft and we can tune it. So first of all, let me get the spanner set, and we need the 7mm. There you are. And now, boys, we can remove the rocker cover by right click and grab it. Let me pull it in the table. And now we need to change to the screwdriver. As you can see right here, we got 8 screws to tune. And the first step, we need like to scroll all the way down until it stops moving. After that, I need to scroll up 7 times, and that's it. Very simple. Now, guys, we finished like scrolling down for all the screws, and we need like to do like scroll up 7 times for each one. For the rocker shaft, it should be good, and let me bring the rocker cover real quick. Bam, and let's tighten all the bolts. And now let's get to the distributor. Now we need like scroll down until it stops moving, then scroll it up 27 times, and finally tightening the screw again. That's it, very simple. And we need like a screwdriver real quick, not the spanner. And we need to unscrew this thing. Okay, very good. Let me remove this thing. Scroll all the way down. As you can see, she's moving. I think that's the max of it. And now, guys, we need to scroll up 27 times. Very simple. Let's get to it. I think it should be good right now. And let me bring the screwdriver. Let me tighten this thing. So for the carburetor, I'm gonna leave it the last thing because we don't have the AFR gauge at the moment. And I think I'm going to get to the next thing, the wheel alignment. Yeah, this one should be very simple. We got like 120 clicks on this one, and we should max it out like by scrolling all the way down. After that, we need like scroll up about 60 times, and it's very good. That's the wheel alignment, I think. So I was thinking of pushing the car outside. Okay, it's good. Yeah, it's good. Let me bring the spanner 14. Let's scroll all the way down now. After we scrolled all the way down, we need to scroll up 60 times. Very simple. The right side is done. Let's get to the left side. So let's get down and let's see what we got. 3 bolts on the left and on the right. And we need to press F on the box to get the light. Okay, I mean the light bulb. Turn this thing right there. Bam. Let's do the same for this one. Bam. So for the headlights, we need like 7mm spanner to tighten the 2 bolts. Okay, let me grab this one. Yeah, for the right side. Perfect. And let's tighten it. And we got the headlight for the left side. Bam. Let me get the AFR gauge in the dash. It should be located, yeah, right there. We need to wire this thing in the dash harness connector, I think. Oh yeah, FR gauge to the dash harness connector. Bam. Okay, let's try to turn on this thing. I hope it does work. Okay, there's the lights. AFR gauge work. That's a good thing. Okay, let's push the choke a little bit. So we're gonna leave the car warm up a little bit. And let me quit the driving mode and let's see the smoke. Yeah, it's a little bit dark, maybe because of the choke it's on. And now the temp gauge, it is good. Let me push the choke forward. I mean, that's kind of a lot. And we need to put it like 14.7. I think I can tune it from here. Okay, let's see. Is it going down? Oh, yep. Let's scroll up one more time. Let's see how it's gonna look like. It should be decent. As I can see right now, it's just like small white smoke. You know what, boys? Let's take this thing for a drive for the first time. So let's enter driving mode. So let's see the gears if they are working. First, second, third, fourth. Yeah, we don't have fifth. Okay, let me remove the parking brake. Okay, seat belt, you know, for safety. Even we don't have doors. Yeah, that's kind of good thing. Oh, what the hell is that light? Trying to hear the engine if it's good or not. And to be honest, she's doing good. Even the wheel alignment, that's kind of good. It's not like going, you know, to the right or to the left side. And the wheel is literally straight. Yeah, I kind of like did a pretty good job on that one. So let me try to hit like full brake. Yeah, the brake works fine. Everything is good. Oh, wait. I gotta do like first burnout for this car. Wait. Look at that. She's spinning. Oh, yeah. That's a ditch. And let me start with the front bumper. So, yeah, this is it. We got 2 bolts to tighten on this one. Yep. And now, boys, let me get the rear bumper. And let's drop it right here. Yeah, that's good. The bolts for the front and rear bumper, they are hard to see. So this one, same as the front bumper, we got 2 bolts to tighten. Now we're gonna bring the 10mm spanner because we're gonna tighten the 2 doors. And we got like 4 bolts. Let me bring this door. And this is for the right. Perfect. Okay, gotta open the door. And now we're gonna install the left door. And let me bring the spanner 5mm. We're gonna tighten 5 bolts on the fenders, the right one and the left one. Fender left. So we should put it from this side. And now let's bring the fender for the right side. Let's change the spanner to 6mm. And now we're gonna install the trunk, and it has, I think, 4 bolts to tighten. Bam. The boot lid is done, and let's get to the grill. And we got like 2 bolts to tighten with the 6mm. We finished installing the grill, and let me get the hood. We gotta open the hood from the hood lock. Wait a second, and it's right there. And now we can open the hood. And as you can see, we got like 2 bolts right here and 2 bolts right there. And now, boys, we can say the car is fully finished. That's it, guys, for today's episode. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Make sure to smash that like button, share this with your friends, also comment, and don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell button so you don't miss out anything. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video. Peace.